on Facebook know that there have been a number of instances where men have found it prudent to say things that are really inappropriate and stupid. And earlier today I posted on Facebook that I was going to do something at TED about that. So as promised, this is a poem that I wrote earlier today. An open letter to the catcallers of the world. I have tried my best to understand you, but I have a couple questions. First question, when has catcalling ever actually worked? Have you ever heard a couple tell their love story? I met your father on a Friday. I was on my lunch break. It was 2:30. We always saw each other during the midday moon, and one day he finally got up the courage to talk to me. He came up to me and said, "Hey, sexy lady, nice tits." When have you ever heard someone say, "He catcalled me once and it was love at first dick joke"? Is the word no really that complicated? If I say no, thank you, that doesn't mean keep asking me out until I get irritated. And for our purposes, it means that if I have to say no more than once, be ready to be schooled in feminist politics. Next question. Next question. Do you have a vocabulary? Language is a skill, grasshopper, and the words boo-thang and pretty lady are on the list of things that will get you some serious side-eye and a slap. Also on that list are stupid pickup lines, men's rights activists, social climbers, and crocs. You call yourself suave if you can tone your voice just right. Not enough to melt sugar, but just enough to be creepy as hell. And you walk up to me all swag and machismo, calling me girl, lady, hourglass, honey, sweetheart, object. And I'm supposed to be flattered by that. I don't owe you a smile. I am not your baby. I will not be your mama. And please stop touching me. I said no. Yes! Amen. On the school bus in first grade, an older girl gave me advice saying, remember, if a man hits you, hide your hands. That way he knows you can't hit back, so he can go on longer. There is a reason my hands shake more often than my voice does. I was taught that women should always be afraid of the dark, and when we're older, they'll tell us how dangerous the world can be. But for some people, older is 6 years too late, and by then we already know why you can't go to that part of town. The reason starry nights become trigger warnings and walking home is the most dangerous thing a woman can do because the world wants her to believe that it is her responsibility to make sure she is treated as a human being, but she is not God. She is looking over her shoulder, and she has shaking hands, and she spent an extra $50 on a cab ride home so she doesn't have to deal with you, and she is afraid of the dark, and you, catcaller, are responsible. Next question. What are you afraid of? While young women are taught to be afraid of the night, young men are taught to be afraid of femininity. Taught that sex is power, and power means alpha, and always be the alpha male, and hey, did you score last night? Because that way a woman becomes his goal. Where I went to school, we were taught to, we studied biology, then health, then sex and relationships, in that order, which means that where I went to school, we were taught how to manhandle a body long before we were taught how to hold a hand. You, catcaller, are learning aggression. And we are teaching you faster than we can undo our own history. You, catcaller, with your razor-sharp wit and your extensive vocabulary, do not qualify on the list of people I'd like to fuck. You, your fear of powerful women is not hid behind your badly timed rape jokes. What are you so afraid of? Does it scare you that I'm not afraid to call you out on your misogyny? Do your boots quake knowing that I am the feminist you were warned about? Can you picture me at my 5'1" overpowering you at your 6'4"? If you can't, ask the man who tried to grab my wrist before I broke his. Ask the stalker who was sent to prison on my orders. Ask the man who has ordered me to smile before the state police orders his hands into handcuffs. You're not smarter than me. You are not stronger than me. Do your hands tremble as I admit my violent past? Because mine do. I am not a violent person. but I have a personal policy. If you ask for an ass-kicking, whether verbal or physical, I will oblige. But I am not proud of violence. I don't enjoy the fact that I've spent 22 years learning how to defend myself via trial and error, mostly by error. And I am angry that I was expected to learn how to fight while you were expected to learn how to attack. Every man I have ever physically hurt still haunts me. The ability to defend yourself is not a gift. It is a reaction that we have deemed commonplace. It is a nightmare that women live every day, and if I could take back every fist, I would. My bloody history doesn't make me better than you, Catcaller. It makes us the same, and that is the most terrifying thing I have ever said out loud. So I am biting back retorts and holding out my hand. Will you, Catcaller, walk with me in solidarity, in trust, and in your case, in silence? We will walk this road to quiet midnights and safety in darkness. We will leave our fists and broken words behind. I will not be afraid of you, Catcaller. I am not angry with you. I am disappointed that women being people is still up for discussion. I am angry that I have to wear a straitjacket that I have learned to call my skin. But I am human and you are human, and I will tell you that. All I ask is that you tell me the same, and we will both sleep easier tonight. P.S. Written the next day. Hey, Catcaller. It's Artemis. You're human too. And I am human. And I wish I knew your name, but I don't. But I'm done being violent. I'm done letting violence depict what my life will become. And I have to ask you, if you think I'm human, and I think you're human, tell me the truth. How did you sleep last night? Thank you.